KGVO Missoula Sports Talk tonight and streaming online at Newstalk, KGVO.com.
Well, Denny, this is Sports Talk tonight with Gerns and Bedard.
I thought it was, yeah.
We are just going to skip summer and go right into winter.
We had that 3 days. We had that 3 days of Indian summer last Friday, Thursday, and Wednesday. I guess that's it. I don't know.
You know, I like the winter, but I like a little ease into it. But
some gradual.
Nothing like was at my son's football game in Butte yesterday evening, and there was snow on the ground.
I'm sure.
And kids were out. That's the fun play in football when you can make people miss you and people just slide on by. It's funny.
How'd the team do? Was weather a factor?
No, it wasn't. They won 12-8. And
kind of low scoring, so weather might have been a factor.
And it was, a win is a win is a win is a win. And you're winning if you're listening to Sports Talk tonight live from the KGVO studios. Remember, we are streaming worldwide on newstalkkgvo.com, on the AM dial 1290, over on the FM 98.3. Follow us on Twitter at Sports Talk Back. Podcast online at newstalkkgvo.com. Our phone number, as always, 721-1290. A very, very special guest.
Yeah.
Cooler, smarter, better looking than Greg Sumberg.
Yeah, that'll teach him to delegate this.
That's right. That's right. Skinnier, too, I might add. It'd be Jared Amoss, the assistant director of the Grizzly Scholarship Association. Hi, Jared.
How are we doing, guys?
Good. Oh, we've already got a phone. See, Jared walks into the studio.
It's probably Greg actually calling about that one right there. So.
Yeah.
You guys talk amongst yourselves, though.
So what you been doing, Jared? How you doing?
We're doing well. You know, a lot of stuff going on at the university. Football season, basketball just started up this past week. Volleyball's in full swing. Soccer. Going. Fall softball got going last weekend. So sports is in full swing here, and we're getting ready for some special events going in the GSA as well.
Tell me, and I am ashamed to not know this, but who's the new softball coach? Do we have one?
That is still in the works right now.
Okay, so I'm not dumb.
No, you're not off or anything like that. They're still they're in the interview process right now. I think they're down to the final couple candidates, and I would assume there'll be some announcement before too long here.
Wow. Well, that's cool. Sports Talk tonight brought to you in part by Orange Street Food Farm, locally owned and operated grocery store featuring the freshest fruits and vegetables, fresh meats, and a great beer and wine selection. By the Ranch Club, golf, dining, entertainment, events, and the incredible pool. Visit them online at ranchclub.com, located just off Mullen Road. And by Grizzly Liquor, located downtown next to the Iron Horse, Big Sky, Big Selection, and online at grizzlyliquor.com. Fan, Denny?
Well, they wanted to know where are we going this weekend. And I said Idaho State, and he said, "Is that that goofy, ugly blue turf?" And I said no, that would be Boise State, not Idaho State. Idaho State's indoors, but it's not blue.
It is
just
not.
wanted to know.
It is not blue. So, Jared, hey, we'll get into the goings on over at the university, but how was the? I want to know a couple things. How was the Cooper Sprunk experience down there in Portland State? And I'm not going to get into the details, but it involves him being pen pals with a bunch of elementary school kids. And how was the trip in general down there to Portland?
Overall, great trip to Portland. Obviously, when you get a win, it's a great flight home for everybody. But the Cooper Sprunk experience was a great thing. I think the kids had a blast, something they're going to remember forever. They got to meet him after the game. I think they toured Nike the morning of, and probably the greatest scene was seeing Cooper coming off the field at the end of the game and all these 18, 19 kids all wearing mustaches to give their little support to Cooper there, and Cooper was running 40-yard dashes with him after the game. Poor kid probably couldn't walk after the battle he had in the trenches, but something that those kids are going to remember for the rest of their lives, I'm sure. So,
and they were from Northern California,
yeah,
right?
Gerber, California, up in the northern part of California. It was about a 7.5-hour bus ride that they took on Friday, and they stayed the night at a school that night, and then they went to Nike, and they had tailgate barbecue with Grizz fans.
Wow.
And they had a good old time there, and then they hung out and watched the game. And I think, believe it or not, all those kids that are the third and fourth graders, they watched the entire game. You weren't running around or anything. Most of the time, you can't get a kid to stay still that long, So they were excited. And but yeah, seeing the kids with their fake mustaches on was classic, and Cooper thought it was the best. And
did any of them appear to be super football players? Did we get any early signings?
They keep on talking. They're saying, we're going to be Grizz for life, and if we get even a couple of those kids to come up and be Grizzlies, we'll take it.
Well, and we got to get that enrollment up. So
we do.
Whatever it takes. And
yeah.
we've got a new. we've got a new president at the
We
University
do.
of
They
Montana.
just announced it, and
Younger
we're
guy.
excited about that. Yeah, younger than me. So we're excited to have a new president on board. I think January 1st is when their his official start date is.
Seth Bodnar, his name.
Military guy.
Oh yeah, West Point, Oxford,
Rhodes Scholar. I mean, he's done it all. So.
Wow.
It's about what 48 degrees outside. That's fewer degrees than new President Bodnar has. Let's put it that way. It's
Yeah.
unreal.
I'm like, where are you going with this, Denny? You're
he
making
married
me
him
do
a-
math?
he married a Hellgate gal. Go Knights.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
Elander, I want to say was her name.
wow. Well, no wonder he's dropping the GE job and coming to Missoula for a better
Had
quality
to-
of living.
Had to have been it.
Bet.
Wow. Very
A
cool.
little less stress. Who knows?
That's right. And Grizzlies, of course, with the big victory over Portland State. Funny, and Jared, you were down there. I was talking about how awesome a deep ball that our quarterback Gresh Jensen threw, and how pretty it was. And I tell you what, he was off target all game at Portland State. It wasn't
one of his better outings. I mean, we don't have many outings to go off with him right now, but he's going to be a good one for us. I mean, heck, only a freshman, and got thrown into the fire a little prematurely, so to speak, and but sky's the limit, I think, down the road for this kid. But he can throw the ball. He's got some touch on his ball, and a couple were off, last week. But
what was our score?
Where were we?
45 to 33.
30. Okay.
Yeah.
The thing that was great though is even with him not being super sharp, we still moved the ball.
Our running game was one of its best times we've had this year. I think our running game was fantastic. I think Calhoun had over 100 yards in the first half.
O-line
O-line played well.
Yeah, they came to play, as Greg would say, the hog mollies.
The hog mollies? Is that I've never heard Sundberg say
that's
that.
his term. That's his term.
Jared, he doesn't call you a hog molly, does he?
Not to my face.
Okay,
anyways.
good.
No, so.
The hog molly.
Yeah. That's
No, we're excited. The offense is starting to click a little bit, and defense, we got the win. That's the biggest thing on the road. We hadn't had a conference road win for a while, and it was nice to get that one. And like I said, the flight home was a happy one. It was only an hour long, coming from Portland, but it was a happy flight.
Now, you got to go to the game, obviously, and enjoy it, and that's great. But being with the Grizzly Scholarship Association, does this end up being kind of a business trip as well as a fun trip? What do you do?
We treat all those trips as business trips as a trip, but with the GSA, we do on occasion with various stops we do. We did Portland, we've done UW.
Right.
We'll have a tailgate at Idaho State this weekend, so we try to hit at least 3 or 4 of our away games and do some tailgates and make sure the fans are out and about and enjoying themselves pregame, and then get out there and do it.
That's got to be pretty beneficial in metro areas like Portland and Seattle, because
those two are huge
Montana alumni bases.
I think the Seattle one, besides Billings and Montana in general, they're the number one alumni base, and I would assume Portland's not too far behind that either. I mean, they have a great following. I mean, they expected about 6,000 people for that game, and I wouldn't be surprised if 2/3 of them were Montana fans at that game. If people got to see the crowd on TV and stuff, it was pro Grizz for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Big Sky is crazy this year. NFL is crazy this year. Yes. I mean, I was looking at, I took that picture of our little predictions, and how they all played out. And you might as well have just took them all in a box and started drawing names because, they're kind of.
I think we missed on North Dakota.
Yeah.
It's too bad in a way.
You say injury bug for a lot of these teams. It seems like injuries is what's playing the factor for a lot of these guys right now more than anything.
North Dakota, 10 starters or something that have been out for 2 or 3 weeks now. I don't know if they're season ending or
no. I think a lot of them are. You expect a few. Every team's going to have a few, but just a bizarre rash of them for North Dakota.
Well, yeah, the North Dakota. I guess the two that jump out to me right now are North Dakota and Portland State. 1-4 and 0-4, and the teams that jump out to me as far as doing better than I thought they were going to do. Teams like UC Davis, Northern Colorado, Idaho State. Those teams. Eastern you thought was going to be up there. Weber, they were going to be good.
And even NEU's throwing their name in the hat a little bit.
Yeah,
speak to Jerome's last last hurrah. I guess.
Last hurrah.
Yeah.
And it's early and strength of schedule and all that stuff. And another couple of weeks we'll see how it really starts to shake out. But a lot of interesting games this week. Montana goes to Idaho State. Portland State goes to MSU, which I'm assuming will probably be a pretty
It'd be an interesting game. It
pretty
could be
good game.
Pretty good game. Yeah.
Northern Colorado at North Dakota. Illinois State in a non-conference travels to NAU. Cal Poly at Southern Utah and Eastern Washington at UC Davis. I think that UC Davis is going to pull off the win against Eastern down there.
First team to 100 wins. And you don't have to win by 2. So. No, that could be a bizarre shootout down there. And not one of those teams you expected to. A couple of them you thought, well, okay, like you said, the schedule was a little bit favorable, and some of these teams that like you and I picked in the mid to upper area, say Weber State, for example, they're impressing. But I don't think we thought much about UC Davis with a first-year head coach. Granted, one with some status, but a first-year head coach and just got some things going on there.
Well, and
Cal Poly loses their premier running back, Joe Prothero. They weren't off to a very good start anyway, but that's obviously hurting them right now.
Yeah, and looking at the stats, and I don't know if these must be Big Sky. Well, no, so total offense, Idaho State is number 23 in the nation at 445 yards per game. Montana number 20 at 450.8. Idaho State averaged 32 points a game. We averaged 38. And the stat that really jumps out at you is Montana still 22 out of 22, perfect in the red zone.
Yeah.
Idaho State 18 of 19.
Mm-hmm.
So
they finish.
Yeah. So
another one of those games. This week game for Montana is another one of those track meet games. There's going to be a lot of points scored on both sides there, so it's going to be an interesting one.
Rob Fennessy down there, former OC for Montana, and down there at UNLV with Bobby, and he gets his shot, and he's doing pretty darn good.
Yeah, just out of the blue, and then Troxel leaves there, comes here, goes back there, and so. Yeah, I'd say there's a few Montana ties there, and they can say lots and lots of nice things about Montana, what a great experience they had here, and how they love Grizz Nation and blah, 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 and they probably want to beat us as bad as anybody's ever want to beat us.
Oh, yeah.
Because they've got that history. So.
Well, hey, Denny, why don't we, before we get to Jared and talk about the goings-on at the U, why don't we get to our trivia?
Let's do it. 721-1290 if you know this week's trivia answer, and our winner will get a gift card for The Works Car Wash, courtesy of Happy Days Car Wash. You want the best car wash in town, you go to Happy Days. You want the best vacs. They've installed all new vacs right behind the bay there. Just absolutely incredible. You've never used a car vac like that. Hoses on both sides makes it that much easier. So The Works Car Wash from Happy Days. And from Fuddruckers, world's greatest hamburgers. Whatever you order off that menu, you get to top it yourself to make it absolutely perfect. Or maybe you experiment a little bit, but fabulous menu and lots of local microbrews on tap, too, at Fuddruckers on North Reserve. So 721-1290 if you know our trivia this week. We started talking about it here a little bit. Montana Grizzly football team on the road again this Saturday to take on Idaho State in Holt Arena. It's an indoor multi-purpose stadium, opened in 1970, and it has the distinction of being the oldest enclosed football stadium on a college campus in the United States. Until 1988, Holt Arena was known as A, the Mini Dome, B, the Bengal Bungalow, or C, the Pocatello Public Events Center. Until 1988, Holt Arena was A, the Mini Dome, B, the Bengal Bungalow, or C, the Pocatello Public Events Center. Gurns, I need a winner. We'll put them in a higher income tax bracket with these prizes at 721-1290.
I hear bungalow and I think of Jack Tripper from Three's Company for some reason. I don't know why, but I just saw visions of Don Knotts. Anyways, and Suzanne Summers ain't bad either. When we come back, more stupidity on Sports Talk Tonight.
721-1290. Call me now.
Granite.
Now back to Missoula's Sports Talk Tonight on KGVO.
Missoula Sports.
Every second of every day.
We're back. Sports Talk Tonight, brought to you in part by Bell McCall Ford. great selection of new and used cars, trucks, and SUVs. Bell McCall is your locally owned low-cost auto dealer for over 100 years in downtown Hamilton. And by Granite Pharmacy, locally owned and operated pharmacy on South Avenue between Shopko and Big Sky High School. Find them at granitepharmacy.com. Bingo, Denny!
Yahtzee! What Gurns is trying to say is we have a contestant on the line. He is John Douglas. How are you this evening, John?
I'm doing great.
Are you a Sports Talk Tonight regular, or is somebody making you do this for punishment, or what?
Oh no, I enjoy your guys' show a lot.
All right. Well, the Montana Grizzly football team is on the road again Saturday, playing Idaho State in Holt Arena. It has the distinction of being the oldest enclosed football stadium on a college campus. Until 1988, Holt Arena was known as A, the Mini Dome, B, the Bengal Bungalow, or C, the Pocatello Public Events Center. What do you think there, John Douglas?
I think it must be A, the Mini Dome.
The ISU Mini Dome, Holt Arena, the oldest enclosed stadium on a college campus in the U.S. Second oldest overall, only the Astrodome in Houston, which was completed in 1965, predates it, but since the Astrodome's 2006 closure, Holt Arena has been the oldest enclosed stadium in use. The original artificial turf installed in 1970 was polyturf. Gurns, you probably still got a few friction burns from playing on that stadium.
Yeah, I'm sure I've got some of them little grass deals, and my elbows are completely scarred.
You could take a piece of chalk and make a hopscotch board out of that thing, I think, back then. It's polyturf, 1970. It was renamed in 88 to honor Milton W. Holt, ISU's athletic director from 67 to 89. So the Mini Dome became Holt Arena, but that was the answer we were looking for. Good job, John. I got your mailing address. I will get your prizes mailed out to you, okay?
All right. Thank you much. I like the show.
Thank you so much for listening. John Douglas, our latest winner. And it only took him one try, Gurns.
Wow, that's quite impressive, because most of our callers usually aren't. Well, I was going to say,
we've never talked
they're
about
smarter than me, so
we've never talked about our record being 4 guesses out of 3, but
4 guesses out of 3.
Would it be all of the above or something?
It was.
Like that?
How did that go down? It was a trivia question. The answer was a university, and I don't remember why. So I gave the 3 choices, and I went to a caller, and the caller said UCLA. And that wasn't one of the 3 choices. And I thought, well, I'm not going to hang up on you. So just kind of like, why don't you give it another try? They needed the 3 tries. So they got 4 guesses in 3 tries. But they won the prize package. They deserved it.
Was it Pete?
No, it wasn't Pete. And if he heard you say that,
I'm sure
he's going to get in your ear about it.
Yeah, boy. Well.
So, good job, John Douglas.
Well, nice job, John. Welcome to the studio, Mr. Jared Amoss, the assistant director of the Grizzly Scholarship Association. And Jared, we've had Dan Ingerman, we've had you on here before, we've had Greg Sundberg. Unfortunately, why don't you just kind of tell us again what your duties are?
I'm afraid to go to work tomorrow, I think, after hearing this. I don't know if they're going to come back here.
What are you in charge of over there at the university there, Mr. Amoss?
I was, like you said, assistant director of the GSA, working with Greg and Dan and those guys on the development side and on the fundraising side. My primary focus is special events, so GSA tailgates for home games, our auction that we do every other year when we host the Grizz Cat game the night before. We have the big auction. Golf tournaments throughout the state. Most of them are done by our chapters, but we do the one in Missoula, obviously. And then our big event, which we'll talk about here in a little bit, is the Montana Wine and Beer Festival that we've been going on. So a lot of special events that we do that I kind of oversee, but have a lot of helpers and volunteers in our Missoula board, our state board, that put in just as much time as I do to make these things a success. And obviously, our primary focus is raising money for student-athlete scholarships.
It's pretty cool, isn't it? We'll talk more about the Wine Festival because we want to encourage people to get their tickets, but I think it's about the 12th year of it.
Yeah, going on 12.
It's pretty cool, isn't it, to see an event like that evolve and grow before your eyes over the course of the years.
Sure,
and originally it was not held at the Adams Center.
Correct.
And kind of on a last-minute
the Hilton
deal.
Garden, right?
Yeah. And on a last-minute deal, you had to change it to the Adams Center. And by golly, you guys knocked it out of the park.
Yeah,
we went. I remember going down that first year that you had it there, and it was like, God, it looks like they've been doing this forever. But it's neat to see how that has grown and become such a big event.
Such a huge event, and Summit Beverage, who's the sponsor of it, just does a fantastic job in bringing in the vendors and the suppliers of beer. It used to be strictly a wine event up until probably about 6 years ago or so now, I think, is when we finally introduced beer. When the microbrew really kicked off and everything too. So that's been a huge hit by getting just another avenue of people in that maybe don't always like wine or just don't want to drink wine all night and stuff. So we've got the beer drinkers now that are there to sample some of the best stuff around. Well,
and not only beer, but the malt stuff, the lemonades, the orange, and the food.
Of course, you gotta have food with it as well. So we've got some great vendors. I think the number I got from Summit Beverage were over 30 vendors for wine and beer, both local, domestic, import. 6 or 7 local ones that are going to be there for sure, but a lot of them are from out the region. And we're up. I think we're over 6. I think we're going to hopefully get a few more. But food vendors, we got a lot of local places that I think Jakers has been there before.
Missoula Fresh is
on there. Orange Street Food Farm. You name it. We've had all kinds of things over the years. So we're excited. The event just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and I think we're averaging 700 plus the last couple of years. We've been doing it here at the university.
It's amazing too, because I hate to throw this term out there, but it's kind of a who's who in the city of Missoula and surrounding areas, and you walk in there and you get stuck right at the front door because you start talking to somebody. Then you move about 2 feet and you start talking to somebody you haven't seen for like a year.
Kind of like a king-size tailgate party the night before the tailgate party.
You have to make yourself walk the room.
You do, otherwise you're stuck drinking the same thing over and over. You're going to make sure you get around there. And we've dubbed it the social event of the year. The last couple of years we've done that.
Hands down.
And hands down is, I think, like you said, Scott, it's you're seeing people that you don't always see, or if you see them maybe you're seeing them in a work setting, but being able to see them on a social setting and kick back and have a few drinks and enjoy the company. And we've got a silent auction. We've got some artists there that are selling their art, and it's just a great time overall.
Yeah, and with you'd mentioned Gurns, it's kind of a who's who, but certainly far from pretentious. But, the food vendors, except for you,
we have to bring red carpet in for Gurns.
I think coming up on that lift out of the floor is a little much.
With the dry ice smoke stuff.
But like you say, a who is who, and I acknowledge the food vendors. They they rent a space to be there. But talk about what a great time to put your best foot forward.
The cheese there that goes with the. I mean, Denny and I, we kind of double date. Go to this with our wives too.
Of course.
By the way, if anybody knows where a good transmission place is, Denny needs his transmission looked at. Just read that. Your wife put that on Facebook, Denny.
We've got a few advertisers that'll do the job here on KGVO.
It's funny, and my wife is she loves wine. We do not drink red wine, and everybody keeps telling us, you'll eventually, you start.
Well, they say it's good for you.
Well,
I mean, health purposes, right?
You start here, but I drink either Pinot Grigio or Sauvignon Blanc, and I like the New Zealand wines because so I walk up and I'd be like, where's this from? Oh, it's from blah blah blah, New Zealand, Marlborough. I'm like, okay, I love it. It's sour, and they kind of look at me and they go,
that's not a wine.
I don't want it sweet. I like it. Like I offend these vintners.
Well, of course you do. You say sour,
and then I go, can I get a couple bottles? I mean, and then we're fine.
I'll work with you.
I love it.
Try palatable, but slightly presumptuous.
Oaky? That'd be red.
Poignant, but not overbearing.
Ooh.
A lively bouquet.
You don't just go up there and say, give me some of the white.
I want
what has the most alcohol in it?
What's the sourest one you got? Can I sniff the cork? Poor Kelsey. Poor Kelsey Guernsey.
Oh, yeah. Not the first time I've heard that statement, that's for sure. Hey, this is Sports Talk Tonight. You are listening to Gurns and Bedard. We have Jared Amoss, the Assistant Director of the GSA, and we're talking about the Wine Festival. Social event of the year. This will be the 12th year running. When is it? Come on.
You bet. November 3rd.
There you go.
The night before the game against Northern Arizona. So
you kind of have to. You have to schedule it. Obviously, the Wine Festival is always on a Friday night before a home Grizzly football game, and I know that sometimes you guys would prefer maybe late October, but when you only got one home game in October,
it makes it a little tough.
Homecoming.
Yeah, you don't want to compete with all the stuff that's going on at homecoming, and September's almost a little too early.
Oh, of course.
We don't have the auction this year, so early November kind of made a good fit for us, and we're not close to the holidays or anything like that, so we're in pretty good shape there. And it's going to be a great time. So, November 3rd at the Adams Center, 7 to 10 p.m.
And here's the deal. The game the next day is not until 3:30, so you can have a little bit of fun.
Got a little time to relax beforehand.
How do we get tickets?
3 different ways you can do it. You can call the GSA office, 243-6481. You can come to the GSA office inside the Adams Center, or you can go online, gogrizz.com, and we've got them available online. $50 a ticket, must be 21 to attend, and we've also got board members from the Missoula chapter out selling them around town too. So if you know somebody that's on the GSA board, stop them, say I want my tickets.
Yeah. It is honestly, it is a awesome, and it's one of those events you don't want to be like late to.
No,
I mean
you want to get your 3 hours worth.
You want to get and you get
the
a
glass?
really cool. You get a really cool souvenir with a Grizz logo or a UM logo etched on the glass.
Uber can pick you up right there in front of the field house.
Yeah. And obviously we're here to promote that and talk about it, but and it's still a month away, but you do tend to come pretty close to selling.
We do really come really close.
If anybody's never been to one, I'd strongly say I highly recommend it. So, but you draw a pretty good crowd for that one.
Yeah, it's great.
What other things are the Grizzly Scholarship working on right now?
Just athletics in general we're working on is the completion of the Washington Grizzly Champion Center. That's coming down to the wire here. We're going to do the grand opening on October 13th, the night before the homecoming game. 4:30 p.m. is the grand opening ribbon cutting ceremony, and then we're going to be doing tours, or I guess open house, I guess you could say, from 6 to 7 p.m. where the general public can come in and tour this beautiful facility, $14 million facility, 51,000 square feet. Got a chance to take a quick little peek at it the last couple of days, and boy, all the contractors are cranking away. We've got all the graphics packs, the carpets being laid, we've got paint being touched up, we've got weight equipment going in. I mean, it's everybody's on top of each other, but they're working their tails off, and we're excited to get the athletes in there, the student athletes in there to take a look at it for the first time. A lot of these guys, they haven't even seen it yet, so they're been
a long time coming.
Yes.
What our athletic director, Mr. Haslam, for months now, he's been saying, we're on schedule, everything's great, we're on. Is he still saying we're on schedule?
Everything's good. I mean, it's you're going to have your little things here and there, but for the most part, everything's been on track and where we want it to be, and we're just excited for it to get completed. And like Scott just said, it's a long time coming. I mean, I know talking to guys that I know from '95 and stuff like that they were promised that when they were being recruited, so that would have been 93, 94 and stuff like that. So, Scott, you were probably the same way. Promised a new weight room at the time, or sometime when you were playing.
Well, we did get we got a new,
I guess you did upgrade a little bit, which I think is where the JSA office was, to be honest.
Yeah, we did.
So.
And I hear, rumor has it, I swear I read this somewhere, that 20 years from now they're going to have something like this over in Bozeman.
I'm not going to go there. I won't say too much, but I have heard that, but I'm not going to go there.
Plan. Everybody's got to have a goal.
You got to have a goal. Got to have a plan.
Yeah. You're going to fill in the mud holes in the parking lot.
What do you and I got, about a 20-minute plan when we do shows?
Oh, geez.
Or not that much, huh?
You know what? I took 3 pages.
Well, I interrupted you guys during your prep before I got here, so you guys were well on your way to 20 minutes.
Yeah, so you interrupted us, all right.
I think that was record prep for us. I'm not sure about that. And in a way, Jared, I'm thinking when you're talking about the Champion Center, obviously for every athletic program at the University of Montana, that is a recruiting tool.
Without a doubt.
But looking at it from your standpoint, from your profession in the Grizzly Scholarship Association, kind of got to be a recruiting tool in that regard too, doesn't it?
To an extent.
When you get a Grizz alum to get a look at that thing, man, we are headed in the right direction.
You bet. And we've had so many generous donors throughout this project step forward. I mean, obviously you've got our lead gift with the Washingtons, Kevin and Kyle, but so many individuals that have stepped forward and put their money forward and to make this work, because they see the benefit for this, not just for the student athletes, but for the community of Missoula, the university as a whole too. So it's definitely a good recruiting tool. I mean, just showing the plans. I mean, the number of recruits that they've been able to get committed or get excited about Grizzly athletics for not just football but basketball and the whole 9 yards. It's huge. So we're excited to have it completed and be able to walk people through it now and say, all right, here's what we did. This is what we're here for.
Are the coaches' offices moving over there?
They are not.
No,
all the coaches will stay in the existing spot. I guess the offices that will be in there are for our strength and conditioning coaches, right next to the new weight room, and I mean, having a weight room now that's big enough that the whole football team can go in at one time rather than 3 separate weight rooms and stuff. It's I know they're chomping at the bit to get in there. So.
And what's happening to the old weight room and the old football locker room?
Eventually, our next couple phases here and there, we'll start to remodel that area, and don't know exactly what'll be in there yet. I mean, it could be some upgraded locker rooms for some other sports, more locker rooms potentially for events that take place at the Adams Center.
Concerts and stuff.
Equipment room will probably get an upgrade. Stacking those guys down there, they're busting at the seams right now. In terms of when you add another sport like softball, you add that much more equipment. No place to put it, so I could see that eventually happening and breaking that down too.
Well,
so
that'll
be down the road. So
I haven't seen the inside of the Champions Center, but you look over in that southwest corner of the facility, and you kind of go, "Hey, this is sort of a nifty addition to Washington Grizzly Stadium over there."
And there will be some things on the stadium side. There eventually will be some restrooms on that side, another concession stand. So definitely some fan amenities, but the building itself is for the student athletes. I mean, we always take pride in making sure we have great facilities. We've had great facilities for our fans for so long, but now it's time that we need to make sure our student athletes are taken care of, and that stuff. Not everybody sees that, but we're very proud to be getting ready to unveil this to the crowd, and our student athletes probably in the next week are going to be able to see it too for the first time. So we're excited to see what they're going to do.
Academic Center, the new weight room facility. Now it's the indoor practice facility. On to the next project.
That'll be the next project down the road. So we might breathe for a little bit to celebrate this one, and then we're going to get on to it. So.
I didn't want to put you on the spot with that kind of question. Leave it to Gerns, but no, I mean, but it is one of those things where you guys are in perpetual motion, and there probably is the next thing being kind of evaluated and studied right now.
We're always looking to see what the next thing's going to be, and it's no secret we have talked about an indoor facility, and that's something that not just football is going to be
track
beneficial for, but track. We don't have an indoor track here at Montana anymore. So what they've been able to do in track without having that has been pretty remarkable. What Brian's been able to do. So
that's for sure.
Well, hey, November 3rd, the wine festival. Get a hold of the university. Get your tickets.
7 to 10 p.m.
Yep, and it is a great time, and
wonderful.
Denny will give you a grand tour if you so desire.
And make sure you talk with Scott about the wines. He seems to know a lot about
sour wine.
So ask for the sour wine, right?
Sour wine.
I'm sorry, Summit Beverage.
Ras wine. Ras wine. Jared Amoss, Assistant Director of the Grizzly Scholarship Association. Thank you, buddy.
Hey, appreciate it, guys.
And we will talk to you again shortly, I'm sure.
You bet. Go Grizzly.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, more silliness on Sports Talk Tonight.
Sports Talk Tonight, live from the KGVO studio.
Missoula Sports.
We are back. Sports Talk Tonight, brought to you in part by the Peak Health and Wellness. With 3 premier facilities in Missoula and a dedicated staff to help you achieve and maintain your health and wellness goals. By Jerry Wessel's Tire Center, locally owned Les Schwab Tire Center provides the best tire value promise. Visit them online at jerrywesselstirecenter.com. And by CHS Mountain West Co-op, Western Montana's source for Cynic's fuel, feed, fertilizer, clothing, and tack for over 75 years. I'd like to thank our special guest, Jared Amoss, the Assistant Director of the GSA. He, as always, and all of our guests are brought to you by First Montana Bank. Your home for free Centennial checking plus unlimited cash back every time you use your debit card online at firstmontanabank.com.
Before I do my live billboard intro, a quick sip of Coca-Cola.
Wow.
That's how you do product placement in radio. You have to say the name brand because they can't see it on the radio.
Have I told you lately that I love you, Denny?
Matter of fact, you did, yeah.
I did.
It was, yeah, you did. Steel of the Week with Scott Guernsey.
Oh.
That is brought to you by True North Steel, Western Montana's industry leader in quality, manufactured, and fabricated steel products. Gerns, your Steel of the Week.
Wow, interesting game, Denny. I'm going to go back to the NFL on Sunday. And if you had one of these kickers in the Missoula Football League, you did rather well. Arizona and the 49ers. I'm just going to kind of break down how the scenario went for the game. Niners kick a field goal up 3-0. Arizona kicks a field goal, it's 3-3. Niners kick a field goal, it's 6-3. Arizona kicks a field goal, it's 6-6. It's halftime. Second half, Niners kick a field goal, it's 9-6. Arizona kicks a field goal, it's 9-9. 49ers kick a field goal, it's 12-9. Arizona kicks a field goal, it's 12-12. Overtime.
Yes.
49ers win the flip. I take that back. I don't know who wins the flip, but the Niners kick another field goal. Go figure.
Well,
with
you
2 minutes,
assume they won the toss.
Well,
because
2 minutes and 23 seconds left in the period, so they didn't win the toss.
Oh, all right.
So, well, who knows? They go up 15-12. 2.5 minutes left. Well, what did the Cardinals do? They go down, march the field, 32 seconds left, and they throw a touchdown pass to Mr. Larry Fitzgerald and win in overtime, 18-15. And what a wacky field goal, 5 on each team, and that's the only scoring that's happened the whole game. Is that inept offense or is that really good defense?
And then the Rams, I think you alluded to that, 7 field goals against the Cowboys on Sunday.
Yep. So
unreal.
Zerline.
Yeah.
Greg Zerline.
Yeah.
So kind of stolen in the end there by the Arizona Cardinals in overtime. They pull out the victory 18-15.
This has been the Steel of the Week, brought to you by True North Steel. And it is time for Stupid Athlete of the Week.
Stupid Athlete. Well, I'm going to go Stupid Sports Association. And you could say this every day about the NCAA because they're not too smart. But we were talking about this earlier. No, maybe we weren't, Denny. I think we were talking about it on our show after the game on Saturday. But I'm listening to the broadcast, and I like listening to Grady Bennett and Coach on there. They do a pretty good job. And Bennett was talking about how he had, before the game, went and met the replay officials. And they were chatting and stuff. And the officials said, well, our job's way tougher because, the NFL, they only replay or review the plays that the coaches throw the flags on or scores, where we have to review every play because the review comes from us. The coaches can't request a review. It's got to come from the replay officials up there. So he harped on that a bunch, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. Well, you go into the game, and Portland State's got the ball, and it was a scramble, and Josh Buss is going to make a tackle, and this dirty chicken bleeping wide receiver from Portland State just ear holes him. We're talking helmet, top of the helmet to helmet, one of the most vicious, it was a block, one of the most vicious plays I've seen in college football. And Buss is on the ground, and he doesn't get up for 3 or 4 minutes. And I'm thinking, well, they didn't throw a penalty. But I'm thinking, well, they're watching every play. This thing's going 3 or 4 minutes. They're going to review this. You saw the replays, and it was bad. I mean, it was like, I'm surprised he didn't die. And you're going, okay, when are they going to signal down? When are they going to signal down? And nothing. And Bennett's like going, you'd think they'd be looking at this and, So anyways, I know that it's been sent up to the league by our coaches. Mm-hmm. It would not surprise me if this wide receiver gets suspended, because if you get thrown out of a game for targeting, I believe it's a game.
It is. It's the full
2 halves or
something like that.
Yeah.
The equivalent of 2 halves.
Yeah. So
this happened rather late in the game.
Yeah, it was. I think it was fourth quarter-ish. But anyways, why have replay at all? Either use it like you're supposed to or don't use it at all. But anyways, I think the NCAA is stupid. So there you go.
And as far as the we better practice our pregame football show a little bit, the injury report. As far as the status of Josh Buss, we were just told that he's not inactive. It doesn't mean he's going to play, but now I can't remember the term.
A concussion protocol.
Which
and if you saw the play, you instantly said, "Oh, he's got a concussion."
Yeah.
Because he just you got to see the replay. It was just bad, bad. But you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if he plays this weekend. It wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't.
Right. What else is your takeaway from the win on Saturday at Portland State?
Takeaway from the win. You know what? We have, and it's probably not just us, but we have trouble with scrambling quarterbacks, which there are a lot of in this league. Who's Thompson from Sac State? 7 touchdowns, threw for 4 and ran for 3 or something. You got Murray over there at Montana State. Everybody seems to have, not everybody, but half the teams seem to have these scrambling quarterbacks, and they just really pose a problem They always have for Montana for whatever reason. I thought we shored that up, though. Came up with big plays defensively. Justin Strong, the NCAA FCS player of the week for his 3 picks and the touchdown and the 2-point conversion that he intercepted as well. Special teams are still just middling. Our kicking game is fine as far as field goals and extra points, but I've got some stats here so far. Let's just go over this, Denny.
Yes, sir.
You segue good.
Yes.
So
charts and graphs.
That's right. So in the Big Sky, this is Big Sky stuff. We are leading the Big Sky Conference in scoring at 42.3 points a game. Scoring defense, we are 8th at 34. Weber State's number 1. Total offense, Eastern Washington is number 1. We are number 3. Total defense, we're number 9. Weber State is number 1. We're 5th in rush D. We're 4th in pass O. We're 7th in pass efficiency. We're 3rd in pass efficiency defense. 2nd in interceptions. 3rd in sacks. 3rd in first downs per game. Our third down conversions are getting better at about 47%. Time of possessions about 28 minutes. So it's getting close to that 50-50.
For us, that's not bad for us.
That's good. Our turnover margin is flat, which is good because we are actually getting better after that University of Washington game. We're number 1 in red zone offense. We're number 2 in red zone defense. We're 1st in field goals at 6 for 6. The 3 things that we're last in kickoff coverage. We're 11th in kickoff returns, and we are last in pass defense. So there you go.
Yeah, and when you're last in pass defense and you're last in kick coverage, that's a lot of those big plays that seem to frustrate fans a lot with this ball club.
And the pass defense is a little misleading because when you're leading the conference in scoring, I mean teams are trying to keep up with you.
There is that side of the
stuff.
coin.
So, but you never like to see yourself last. That means that Cal Poly's doing better than you and UC Davis. And anyways, hey, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back to our last segment and we'll see. I'm going to let Denny talk the whole time. Sports Talk Tonight, Gerns and Medard.
Now back to Missoula's Sports Talk Tonight on KGVO.
Missoula Sports.
Every second of every day.
We're back. Sports Talk Tonight. I've already paid all the bills, Denny, so...
So do I? Does that mean I'm supposed to take another sip of Coca-Cola?
You are just...
Let's see.
You're amazing, Denny.
I don't have my clock handy. I believe, my calendar, I should say. I believe you and I will be on the air at 12:30 on Saturday afternoon.
Correct.
With our statewide tailgate show, the 2-hour broadcast prior to kickoff from formerly known as the Mini Dome in Pocatello, Idaho, Holt Arena against the ISU Bengals. And so we'll be on the air at 12:30, and then we'll come back on second half of the post-game show with some highlights and Scott's insight and commentary and all of that stuff. Also, if you happen to be free tomorrow night, we would love to see you at the Coaches Show. You can talk Grizzly football with head coach Bob Stitt. Bob also brings one of the assistant coaches up on stage, and a player, brings a player along every week as well. So it's a fun program. It's live from 6 to 7 Thursday nights, Brooks and Browns, Holiday Inn, Missoula downtown. Got a PA system so you can listen to the show right there. Of course, we also got it on the air right here on KGVO, but would love to see you come on over to the Coaches Show.
Food and beverage there for
if you
your...
so desire. Yeah.
There you go.
Not required, but you're more than welcome to do that. So,
Hey, boy, you know what? I know it's October 3rd, Denny, or October 4th, I should say, but we got baseball going on.
Yeah, we are talking about that during our extensive show prep, our 2-minute show prep. That I don't have a problem with the postseason, with Major League Baseball expanding the number of teams that get to be in the postseason. Not as crazy about it as say football, because you play 162 games, so let's not take it so far, guys, that it sounds like you're giving participation medals. But if you're going to have a playoff series, I'd rather have a playoff series, even if it's a best of 3, Don't do a one and done.
Yeah.
That one bugs me.
Denny, I agree with you 110%, although there's no such thing as 110%. But I completely agree.
Especially when my team loses.
Well, yeah.
That's immaterial.
It's almost like, well, we made it. Oh, for a game.
Yeah.
It's like not even being in the playoffs.
Right.
It's I don't know.
And that trims it down. The American League team eliminated one team last night, the Twins, and the National League will be eliminating one tonight. So that leaves what, 4?
4 in each.
Four
Yep.
in each. And the highest seed plays the lowest remaining seed, or how does that work?
Well, I don't know if it's it must. I think the best record of the 3 division winners. Excuse me, the 3 division winners. Yeah, Arizona's playing Colorado right now, and Arizona is up 4-0 in the 2nd inning.
Yeah.
So
I can remember. I don't remember what year they started Major League Baseball play when they went to. It was no longer just the American League and the National League. They went to an American League East and an American League West. And I believe each, and of course National League East and West. I think each of them had 7 teams because there was 28 teams at the time, expanded since. And so if you won the American League West, for example, you played the American League East.
Mm-hmm.
It was only a best of 5, but at least it wasn't a one and done.
yeah,
So you only had to win 3 games to make it to the World Series. Now you could conceivably have to win as many as 9 to
7
get there?
or 8 with the one game. So
Well, if you're the wild card team like the Yankees are now, don't they have to
3 and 4 and 1.
Okay.
So you could.
So that first series is still a best of 5.
Yep.
And then they move on to the best of 7 for the league championships.
And it used to be when they brought the wild card to the playoffs, it was just 1 team that made the wild card. It wasn't 2. So I don't know. Baseball, you know what? It's so I love baseball. I play fantasy baseball. It's great. It drags on. It's almost like once football starts, it's like baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, and now they're starting preseason hockey and NBA.
Well, and the Major League Baseball, which of course baseball is a sport that's affected by the weather, they're knocking on the door of November by the time they're done with it all.
Well, and you've seen the escalation of salaries across the board in all of these leagues. So, I mean, they don't want to cut down their seasons because that's how they're making their money. That's why they're stuck with 4 games in the preseason in the NFL because it's almost like 4 extra regular season games. I mean, with the way these salaries keep creeping up there, they don't want to give any of that stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
So.
A lot of excitement over Grizz and Lady Grizz basketball. They will have their scrimmages, by the way. Their maroon and silver scrimmages will be the evening of October 24th. But University of Montana Lady Grizz, they get a couple of the conference's premier players back. We hope that they're 100% or as close to 100% as you can get. An awful lot of excitement surrounding the men's team this year. Even though there's a lot of unknowns, it's just... You hear people talk about the incoming guys in practice and so the skill set they have. So it's going to be I guess it's going to be a lot of pressure by association, if you will. There's just been so much talk about what the expectations are, but Travis DeCuire is a pretty cool customer too.
Oh yeah,
he probably doesn't show his hand much, but I think He and Shannon Schwain are extremely excited. They just don't want to overshow it.
What could go wrong in the Lady Grizz basketball season did go wrong last year.
Yeah.
But if there's anybody that can get that going in the positive direction, it's Shannon. And hey, Denny, I was gonna both of our running backs broke stuff this last weekend. Your Minnesota Viking.
Yeah,
Dalvin Cook and
the guy I root for.
Yeah,
yeah, that was sad.
Is a thank you in order? What did I tell you at the draft?
But I never even had the opportunity.
You didn't have the opportunity. But what did I tell you in the draft?
Well, you said that Dalvin Cook might have a little bit of a delicate body frame because pretty bulky, hulky up top, and a little bit spindly from the waist down.
Yeah, and he
It was sad.
It's so sad.
It was one of those where you saw him try to make that cut. He planted, and it was a fumble. But I don't know that I'd give Detroit much credit for that fumble, because I think he was letting go of the ball already, kind of wincing in pain, and that was really sad to see.
Well, and Chris Carson, the Seahawks 6th-round draft pick, he got caught up in a pile and bent over backwards, and Russell Wilson immediately went down and was trying to get the defensive guy and off of him, and because he goes, I heard it. Broke the leg and hurt the ankle, and
that part I had not heard.
Yeah, just never like to see that kind of stuff.
No, you do not.
NFL's crazy. Everything can change with one injury. So, Denny, we will see you at 12:30 on Saturday.
Looking forward to it. Are you flying in from another big rock concert before the
you know
show
what?
Like you did last week?
I'm going to get about 10 hours of sleep on Friday.
Oh, beautiful.
And be rested as heck.
All right. I'll see you then.
Hey, thanks, Denny. We'll see you later. Sports Talk Tonight. We're out of here.